Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to another CIQ webinar. We appreciate you joining. My name is Zane Hamilton. I'm the Vice President of Sales Engineering here at CIQ. We at CIQ are focused on powering the next generation of software infrastructure, leveraging the capabilities of cloud, hyperscale, and HPC. From researchers to the enterprise, our customers rely on us for the ultimate Rocky Linux, Werewolf, Apptainer support escalation. We provide deep development capabilities and solutions, all delivered in the collaborative spirit of open source. So today we're actually going to be talking about an exciting topic that I think we've been looking forward to for a long time, or at least for the last year, and that is SC22. So we'll bring everybody in, start talking about what we expect here. Welcome. Hello, everyone. Let's start off with some introductions. I'm going to start right in the top middle. Rose, introduce yourself.
Hey, everyone. So good to be here. My name is Rose Stein. I am new to the team. It's only been a couple of weeks now, but I am the sales operations administrator. So I'm behind the scenes, helping everything go smooth.
Excellent. Thank you, Rose. Justin.
Yeah, Justin Bird. I'm really excited to be here. Excited to get to SV22. This will be my first show. Joined CIQ about 3 months ago, almost, 3+. And I work with Zane on the consulting side and we doing all of our sales and stuff like that. So very excited.
Great. Thank you, Justin. Ian, it's been a long time. How are you?
Good. So a little bit of introduction. My name is Ian Conestrero. I'm a software engineer here at ControlIQ. I work primarily on the Apptainer and Fuzzball products.
Excellent. Thanks, Ian. And we shift around, so I'm going to go back up to Dickerson. Use last name. We have a lot of Daves.
First Dave, so I get to call dibs on it. Everybody else can go by last name. Pleasure to be here. Dave Dickerson, Director of Channel and Ecosystem Partners for CIQ. This will be my first supercompute, and super excited to be able to go and see all the potential partners.
Fantastic. Brock, good to see you again.
Hello. Yeah, so I'm Brock, Vice President of High Performance Computing, which has a little bit to do with supercomputing.
Maybe a little.
I don't know how many times I've been to the show. I've been more than a few, but yeah, it's going to be really good and very interesting.
Excellent. Mr. Godlove, how are you?
Pretty good. How you doing, Zane? Good to see you again. So yeah, I'm Dave Godlove. I'm Dave number 2 today. And Dr. Dave's already taken, so I guess I'll have to go by to like Dr. G Love or something. In any case, so I am a solutions architect here at CIQ. Looking forward to the show. Looking forward to talking about and demonstrating some of our new products.
That's great. I think I like the DJ name. That's good. Dr. G Love. All right, Forrest. Welcome.
Hey everyone. My name is Forrest Burt. I'm a high-performance computing systems engineer here at CIQ. I've been with CIQ since June of 2021, and this will be my first SC as well, like many here. So I'm thrilled to see the show and meet the whole team that we have going. So very exciting stuff.
Thank you, Forrest. Jonathan, good to see you.
Quite Zane. This is not my first show. I also do. Nope.
Oh, you're good. We got you now.
Can you hear me? Yeah,
we do.
Okay. It's also not my first show, but I'm excited to go back. It's been a while because, out for COVID and whatnot. I'm glad to finally be excited to go to SC again because it had kind of gotten to be a bit much for a little bit. But yeah, it'll be great to be there.
Thank you, Jonathan. And the last Dave, last but not least.
Yes.
Dave.
Well, I'm Dave Leduc. I started in July. I have a pretty extensive open source background, but HPC is new to me. So this will be my first SC event. I'm looking forward to it. We put a lot of work into planning it, and just going to send a lot of people. And I'm excited to meet this audience, meet the market, get to know people, get to know what their problems and interests are. So it's going to be great.
That's great. Thanks, Dave. All right, Brock, tell us, what is supercompute? What is this thing?
Well, again, because we have a lot of people on the call that's going to be their first time, and it's really starts Monday night with Welcome to the Chaos. The opening gala kicks it all off, and it's the only thing that's going on. So everybody is there. It's very crowded. It's very loud. It's very noisy, and everybody is flowing through the the show floor, which is, it is a very large conference. And I expect this year, well, it probably won't be back to peak attendance because of the pandemic. I think this is going to be the first year in the past 2 or 3 that you're going to see closer to full attendance. So that chaos I expect to be back in full force. And it's, I forget which Dave said it. One of them said it, I think. There's always so much to learn. And it's, it's a great time. You get a lot of researchers. So you get to hear, everything from professors and students, what their projects are, what they're working on, what the science is behind what they're doing. But it's also, there's a number of commercial customers there, people who are buying and using supercomputing, but it's also a great place across the HPC industry. All the people you work with, have worked with in the past are there. And it's a lot of cross collaborations, meeting up with people that you worked with over the phone for years and years. It's the one time of year where almost everybody gets a chance to be face-to-face and actually really get a chance to have those conversations that can dramatically advance forward a project or a collaboration or something of that nature. So it's a sight to be seen. It's different than a lot of conferences that I've gone to. Supercomputing seems to be in a class by itself. And again, the size and the amount of participation you have is pretty impressive.
And Brock, this brings people in from all over the globe. This is not just a United States, Canada, or a North American thing. This is global,
absolutely.
Right? And then
on absolutely, that opening, there are. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say
there's 2.
You keep talking. Keep going. Keep going.
It's the delay. It's the delay we have. So there's 2 primary supercomputing conferences that are of really good size, but this both are international. This one does bring people around the globe. Again, there are still some travel restrictions in place, so you won't have the full contingent, but you can expect people from, I would say, at least 6 continents around the world. And you never know, there could be somebody that's technically working on the 7th continent in this space. And it's all disciplines that, are in research computing, scientific computing, artificial intelligence. Again, we kind of had a joke going, AI is a big part of HPC. Some people like myself would call it HPC or an HPC workload, but it's everything under the sun that is really related to parallel computing all the way up through the biggest and most powerful systems on the planet, the most power efficient systems on the planet. Everything is there. And so it's a great chance to see all kinds of different technologies that feed into HPC.
That's great. There we go. Supercomputing is a great conference. Really looking forward to be present for all. Thank you, Greg. I think we're all looking forward to seeing you there too. So, Dr. Godlove, you said you have been before, right?
Yeah, I've been to SC several times. Probably 3 or 4. I'm not totally sure.
So I've heard Brock talk about the gala, and that's a big chaotic event. What is your experience with the gala? That opening night.
The gala is a lot of fun. The gala is, it's everybody is on the edge of their seat and super excited because the conference is just kicking off and just starting, and it's your opportunity to sort of dive in. And there's electricity in the air. There are beers in hands. And everybody's just having a good time and getting really excited about all the stuff that they're going to see in the upcoming days. It's a very exciting and fun time, but it's also a time to start to kind of get yourself into gear and start to look around and see, the things that you're going to be visiting over the next few days. Start to talk to people. Start to get the juices flowing and get those ideas turning in your head as far as like who you're going to be talking to and what kinds of ideas you're going to be going over and everything. It's just really it's a cool way to start the conference.
So Jonathan, do you see that gala night as the time to kind of walk the floor and see where people are going to spend time the next day, or is that a time where people start diving in, do you think?
I personally haven't differentiated the gala myself in the past. I think it's just the first day of the exhibit floor, and there's more. And I don't mean like the next day is more like more focused. It's just another exhibit floor day for me. But you know, I'm more about zeroing in on specific people that are there, like an exhibitor that I've wanted to talk with, or someone I had heard of but didn't know much about, and trying to have those kind of small, longer term conversations, you know, as long a term as you can on a show floor like that. But trying to meet people, and you know, there's a lot of that going on that first night. There might be, you know, people excited to show off their new demo or something like that. There's all of that kind of stuff. I've also really enjoyed in the past. I don't know if this happens every time, but when it was in Denver, I was really glad that there was a family day too, and I was able to. I live in the area and was able to bring my kids in there too, and everyone had their demos and, you know, all of their swag and all of that stuff out, just to show off their product, their brand, and talk about what they're excited about doing in the most visually appealing way possible.
Very cool. So now we CIQ are going to have some things that we're going to talk about. We obviously have a booth 521. Stop by, say hi. We'd love to talk to you more. But I would like to ask, and I'll start with Forrest, what are some of the things that we're going to be showing and talking about?
Well, we've got a lot to talk about at SC and a lot to show off there. Our biggest things that we're going to be discussing are our 4 different products that we have in the HPC sphere: Apptainer, Werewolf, Rocky Linux, and Fuzzball. Apptainer containers for HPC, Werewolf node provisioning and cluster management for HPC, Rocky Linux, the fastest growing enterprise operating system, and also the growing choice of supercomputing centers worldwide, and just in general HPC sites, both large and small. I think I heard recently TAC switched to it, but someone correct me if I'm wrong on that. So yeah, really, really exciting stuff. We've also got Fuzzball, which is, of course, our kind of HPC orchestration, HPC 2.0 layer that we're really excited to show off in the capabilities that we can there, and talk about kind of our vision for the next generation of HPC. So we've got all that. We've got, obviously a lot of very talented engineers, very talented people coming there, and got a lot of great demos, a lot of great material, all kinds of awesome information to show off.
We do have one question. Somebody's asking, what is Family Day? Jonathan, you started something here. What is Family Day? And do people actually bring their kids?
So at least on that time, and I've mentioned this to other people and they've seemed baffled by it, so I guess I don't know if it's every year, but that year they had an evening where the exhibit floor was open to outside guests, and people could bring their children and their spouse, whatever else, to come and see the floor, which was great because I'd been there a number of times, and it's difficult to convey the scale and activity of a show like SC. Even if you've been to other trade shows, it really is. SC was the first trade show I'd ever been to, so other shows have not lived up to that standard. But to be able to, share that with the people in my family who had heard me tell stories about it all the time, but hadn't ever been able to experience it, was great. The kids, walked away with, someone was giving away little microcontrollers and took them to see tape robots moving around and all things like that.
That's very cool. Thanks, Dave, for putting that. Dave DeBonis, not one of the days on the screen, actually pointed out it is this year from 4 to 6 p.m. On Wednesday.
And they do have that every year, and I think it's probably under publicized, but it's a fantastic way for people who not just kids, but spouses, friends who don't know what HPC is and how it affects them, to actually bring them on. And there are so many good displays going on. Like I said, all kinds of science, weather modeling, climate modeling. You'll see some of the traditional HPC structuralists, like car crashes and things. But there's so much technology that it can be inspiring just to see it. And as Jonathan said, the show floor is massive. It's a big show. So it's a great opportunity, and they do. I think it is Wednesday of every year, as was said.
Very good. So one of the things I want to understand from everybody here, I know everybody has their own things that they're looking forward to, and I'm going to start with Ian. What are you looking to get out of SC this year?
Um, well, I'd say first and foremost, I've been a member of a community or open source community around Aptainer for several years now, and the nature of those communities are everyone works with whatever organization they're employed at, and everyone's distributed around the globe and just submitting PRs and interacting over Slack or maybe Zoom calls. And so several of the people in the community I know will be at SC, so I'm looking forward to finally meet them face to face and talk to them in person for the first time when I've been working with them for years now. Um, I'd also just say, in general, I've heard a lot about just the variety of technology and work that people are going to be displaying at SC. So I'm just looking forward to being exposed to all of that. Yeah, sounds like it's something that you just have to experience.
Very good. Mr. Dickerson, I'm going to pick on you next. What are you looking forward to getting out of this?
I'm looking to expose not only Rocky, but CIQ to more potential partners in the world. So, today we just had a huge announcement with Atempo, who's went and certified their solution on Rocky. So, customers of all shapes and sizes know that their tools and solutions are validated to run on Rocky. We did that with them, which is great. I'm looking to be able to engage with everybody out there, because I understand that we fit a very specific piece in an overall solution, and other companies bring their parts to it, and at the end of the day we solve a problem that customers are trying to solve for individually. So to be able to actually get out there and engage with those in this space, because my background has been more in storage than in HPC, so to be able to engage with companies who are focused on this particular vertical, yeah, it's super exciting, and we get to do it in person, in real life, not just over Zoom.
It is exciting.
I say that on a
has
webinar.
been too long. Has been too long. Justin, what are you looking forward to in this?
Well, it's been a long time since I was in the HPC world, probably 2+ decades, and so a lot has changed, I can only imagine. So I'm looking forward to kind of getting, first of all, in front of people again. That's I probably can't be understated or overstated. Either way, I can't wait. Also, just to kind of understand where technology is, what are other vendors doing, what are people doing, what are the researchers doing? That's another area I've never even kind of explored in my career. So all of that is really exciting to me.
Thank you, Justin. Rose.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Even just hearing you guys talk about it, I've never been to SC ever. I've been to a different conference a couple of years ago, but it was, from what you guys are saying, and I saw the map and all the people that are going to be there. And I'm like, wow, how am I even going to get to every single booth? I don't even think that there's probably time, even in the 3 or 4 days that we're going to be there. But yeah, it's exciting to get together in person and see what other people are doing and how we can help each other, because that's how ideas grow, right? Like we bounce ideas off of each other, and then we get to go, oh my God, I didn't even see that as a problem. I didn't even realize that there was already a solution. That what are you doing? Okay, well, if that's not a problem anymore, what else can we do? And it just is like a really exciting time and a really energy. I'm really looking forward to being there.
That's great. Thank you, Rose. Mr. LeDuc, what are you looking
You can call me Dave. You can call me Dave. Anyway, I'm similar, I think, to what Justin and Rose said. I'm super interested just to get with people, and that includes CIQ people. Since I've started, and I've met a lot of people at the company on Zoom, but I think it's really important for us to kind of encounter each other in real life, and we'll be doing that, and that'll be very good. I think we're sending over 20 people to this show, which is a pretty big showing for a company of our size. When we were originally planning the show, the numbers seemed on the large side to me, given just our presence overall. But I think it's going to be great. I think we're going to have a lot of great connections into the market. I'm looking to make my own. I really want to meet the people that attend, understand better what their problems are, understand better what research they're doing, how we can help. I want to understand how they perceive our products today, our brand as a company. We're still small, still new. So I'm going to be very interested to hear people's impressions of where they think we are, and clearly what kind of problems we can solve in their world. That's really crucial. So I think it's going to be really interesting from that perspective, just to be exposed to a whole new market And we've got a history in this market. We've got a lot of amazing solutions in the market, and I'm really curious about what people think, how they use them, what alternatives they look at, how they decide on what they're going to use, and what they think we can do to be even better. So a lot on my list. I also want to go look at the other players and major players in the market to get to know my peers there and get to see what they're all about. Look at their presence, look at what they're offering, and I think that'll be a great education for me as well. So it's going to be very cool.
Very good.
Plus,
Thank
to be
you,
in
Dave.
Texas, that's going to be fun as well as a Californian to go visit Texas.
Just going to point out that the weather is not supposed to be the best. It's not going to be a normal Texas November. It's going to be a little bit colder. It's 30s to 50s, so just come prepared. Don't come expecting 80s like it usually is. Just a little advance warning. Might be some rain. So, Brock, I'm going to end with you last. I'm going to go to Jonathan next since he's having keyboard shortcut fails. What are you looking forward to in this? Since you've been before, I kind of waited to do the guys who've been last. Like, I think you have a different view of this because you kind of expect something. So from someone who's been there before, what are you looking to get out of this?
Sure. So this will be my first time there as a commercial exhibitor. So that'll be different, and it'll be really interesting to meet our customers and our potential customers, people that might be interested in the stuff we're doing. I've exhibited before, but always like as a university or as some kind of consortium, and that's a different take on what the exhibit floor is. But one of the things that I hear people say all the time when you start going to this conference and other similar computing conferences is that the community is actually pretty small. And this is said in reference to you keep running into the same people all the time when you go to these conferences. And even though, there will be so many thousands of people at the show, that seems large for a show. But then you realize pretty much everyone goes to this show. And that's the entire global audience for this kind of thing. And so, I've worked at a number of different sites, and I really look forward to coming to a show like this and meeting up with people that I've worked with or worked for or worked around or met up at previous conferences again, and talking with them about the work that they're doing, about the work that we're doing, and in ways that we can collaborate in the future and just catch up. These are my colleagues that I've known for increasingly long periods of time now. I was going to say more than a decade, but that doesn't even quite cover it anymore. It's always good to see those people again. And in the same way, this hasn't gone unsaid already, but we're a remote company, and I've been really glad to meet a few of my colleagues here at CIQ in person from smaller conferences that we participated in up to now. But one of the big benefits of having such a large contingent at the show this year is that we'll get to see each other. And I look forward to having that energy present in our booth presence as well. Because I think if people come by and want to meet us, they'll be, in the middle of not a reunion isn't accurate, but it's going to be a good time at the CIQ booth because we'll all be really glad to see each other. We have a great set of colleagues, great culture here at CIQ, and I think that's going to be on display for anyone that wants to come learn about Rocky or learn about Aptainer or learn about Fuzzball, any of these things.
Absolutely. And I forgot to stop on Forrest as a first-time attendee because when I started here, we were still fairly small and Forrest was HPC to me. So it's hard for me to think of him not being at this conference before. So I'm sorry, Forrest. I'm going to go back and say, what are you looking forward to? I know you have a list of things that you want to see and different booths that you want to stop by. So what are you looking forward to?
Well, I kind of come out of the academic and national lab HPC space. My original background was an HPC sysadmin while I was a student at a university in Idaho. So I've been hearing about SC from my colleagues and how awesome it is for years, how great it is to be able to go and see all the tech and meet all the people. And I have just been hearing, for the better part of years about how awesome this conference is. I've got to go to a couple ones this year already, round and about, that have been really, really cool. But nothing at the scale that SC is going to be. So I'm thrilled to get there. First off, I have to say, probably meet the CIQ team. It is absolutely thrilling to have watched this company grow so much over the past year and a half. So I am absolutely thrilled to get to meet so many of our people and get to meet, so many of these colleagues that we've been building, the next generation of high performance computing with for so long. So that's going to be very exciting. Overall, meeting the industry is going to be awesome. Just to kind of reiterate what Jonathan said, I've heard in HPC for a long time as well that it's a really small field, and that there's really, overall some of these events kind of encompass the greater majority of the people that are out there in it. So with this being my first SC, I'm really excited to meet the industry, meet the major players, meet some of these kind of industry folks that we've interacted with over time, and actually get to, hopefully shake their hands and, I see these people in person. There's something about, actually getting to meet in a forum that is not Zoom, that just, like Jonathan touches on, creates an energy that is really palpable in the air. So I'm really excited to meet, like I said, all the people there on CIQ, and just kind of in the industry at large, get to know fellow professionals, potential partners, customers, the researchers. I've spent a lot of time talking to researchers about what they do in HPC and how they use it. And so I'm thrilled to get back to just kind of being out there in the mix and figuring out what the nature of HPC is. Of course, the tech, there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on out there with AI chip companies, new interconnects. I mean, not like I said, once again, novel silicon, new paradigms around GPUs. I mean, all kinds of different stuff that's going on right now. It is really a technological renaissance in HPC that we have dove into in our webinars and stuff like that before. There's a lot that's changing in the field right now. So it's going to be thrilling to kind of see this crossover between everyone finally being back in person and everyone having really, really interesting work that they're excited to share. So I think it's going to be an awesome show, and I'm just absolutely thrilled about everything about it, just about. So it's very exciting.
Looking forward to seeing you, Forrest. I'm going to go to the new and improved Dave. What are you?
I had to stop and figure out which Dave that was for a second. Yeah, there's a little subtext that's been going. So if you haven't figured it out already, we have fun at CIQ. We have a pretty good company culture, I think, and I think we have a pretty good time in addition to getting a lot of cool work done. Are we still on? What are you excited
What are you looking forward
about?
to? Yeah, what are you planning to see? What are you looking forward to? What are you trying to get out of it? I think it's a little bit of a different paradigm for you guys who have been there before. You kind of know what to expect and where to focus a little bit better than those of us who are new to it, who are just gonna kind of scatter out and learn.
Yeah. So as Jonathan kind of alluded to, and several of the other folks too, one of the things I'm really looking forward to is seeing, folks that I haven't seen in a while that I've worked with either through the Aptainer community, or maybe I've worked with previously at other sites. I'm looking forward to running into those folks, catching up with them, seeing what kinds of things are going on. And also like what kinds of technology people are getting into, what kinds of new softwares out there, what the new kind of buzzwordy things are that are going on. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward, I've attended SC both as a consumer and as a producer. So obviously we'll be producers this time around. We're all going to be wearing, similar CIQ green branded shirts. So, I encourage people to look for us, not just at the booth, but all around. We're going to be attending some of the Birds of a Feather or BOFs. So we'll be kind of, I think that there are 10 people on this call. I think this is like half the number of people that are actually going to attend from SC. So we're going to have a huge presence. So please, as we're fanning out and going around talking to people and engaging in different things, if you see one of us, grab us and pull us aside and, start talking to us about, whatever interests you. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. I mean, shows like this tend to be beautiful and awful. And what I mean by that is they are, like, for me at least, they're so exciting because there's so many new things and so much new stuff and so many people to talk to, and there's so, but at the same time there's like so exhausting because it's overwhelming and there's so much that hits you at once. And so after the show's over, it kind of catches up to you and you're like, whoa, and it takes you the next week to sort of soak things in and kind of mull things over and figure out what just happened to you. So I'm looking forward to it.
I am too, and I'm gonna stop, or I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna go to Brock, but I have a little bit of a different, not a different question, just a different way of looking at it, Brock. I think your view and how things are going to go at SC for you are going to be a little bit different than the rest of us. I think you're going to have a lot of meetings. I know you're giving some talks at different booths. So I want you to tell us a little bit about that. And then from your perspective, I know you're going to be tied up quite often, but what are you trying to get out of this, or what do you want to get out of this?
Yeah. So I'll try to remember all parts of that question. You may have to nudge me. So first, one of the things we're going to do a good amount of talking about is what it meant and what we've done by joining the Open Radios community. So we've got a couple different talks lined up where we talked about that on this webinar a couple different times, but just what that has meant. And, I'm going to be giving call it my opinion. It's definitely an opinion, but the fact that is a really big deal. It's going to be really interesting to see if it has a ripple effect, because Radios is a very well-known, very popular code. And I think, as both Justin and Forrest kind of alluded to, HPC is not slowing down. It's literally moving faster. And the theme this year being HPC accelerates. While that can be, a pun for different things, it's literally the technologies are moving so fast now that something like moving a code like Radios open source allows that collaboration. So we're going to be talking about some of the things that we've been able to do, and Yoshi-san has been able to get moving very quickly, collaborating across company boundaries. I'll be talking as well. I'm going to talk in the Giga.io booth. We're going to be having a conversation about composable infrastructure. I'm looking forward to that. And then I'm also talking, I think Forrest mentioned, fabrics. I'll be talking in Cornelis Networks booth. We're going to have it's more of a discussion and conversation about, again, that pace of technology and how companies like CIQ and Cornelis and Gig.io and others, we have to work together for the community, for the user base, because there's so many different parts and pieces that are moving. And, again, what's always good to see is at the show, you get to see something you didn't know, right? Or there's some different aspect you weren't necessarily thinking about, but then, it starts to spur those ideas. And, an example, maybe the last time I was at Supercomputing pre-pandemic, I came across a vendor that was selling entire enclosed racks, liquid cooling enclosed racks for areas that you wouldn't think supercomputing could go into. And again, think open air desert environments with sand and things like that, right? Their enclosures protect the systems. They're able to keep them cool. Think mobile applications of actually taking computer or supercomputing type of capabilities around. And it's not something I would have been thinking about, but I pass the booth and I see it, and all of a sudden these ideas start talking. Start percolating. How do you actually take advantage of that kind of stuff? How do you combine with that type of technology? And it's a blur. And as one of the real Daves mentioned, it's also kind of humorous to watch. So the opening gala, most people are going to be dressed up or they're wearing their logo gear. Tuesday gets down to, everybody's excited. The meetings really start happening, and there's a lot of hustle and bustle still on the show floor. Wednesday, you're starting to see, people are taking off their coats, or it's more sneakers and stuff. And by Thursday, it's t-shirts, and it's you can see it in people's faces. They're like, when is my flight? I'm so tired. It's just, as you go through the show, it's literally, it's fun chaos to be a part of. But as Rose said earlier, there's so many booths. You take the time to walk the show floor, but you can't hit every single booth. So you do flybys, you do 2 or 3, and it's like every time you walk, you realize you missed something. And then there's always a lot of fun stuff that's going on. I always say that the first booth that I look for on the show floor is Koust, because they always have the espresso bar. And every so often they have dates, which are delicious. I think it was Greg in the comments mentioned one year there was the actual Star Trek bridge from the original show, and that was actually Intel that did that. You could rent that bridge, and they brought it onto the show floor and allowed people to come in and get pictures. And one of our longtime collaborators, Jeremy Seidel, who's still at Intel, I remember he got his picture and he gave it his best James Kirk, of getting a picture sitting in the captain's chair and everything. So there's a lot of fun things like that you'll see, giveaways and things. But it's this beautiful and terrible chaos that, at the end of the week, you're just exhausted. It's been a good time, but you're definitely ready to leave and go just to some silence for a while. It's good exercise. So, for people who do go to a lot of meetings, you have to have good, comfortable shoes, because inevitably you'll have one meeting that's on the show floor with somebody, and the next one is at a hotel that's many blocks away from the convention center. And then you're giving a presentation 30 minutes after that back on the show floor. And so you see a lot of people not necessarily running, but they're walking very fast, right, to get from place to place. So again, it's great. And there's also a newness to me this year. It's going to be the first time at a supercomputing, physically or virtually, where I'm not actually working at a silicon company. So there's an aspect of being new for me that I'm really excited about, and being able to talk about with people and engage. And I'm now in that crowd of, I know a lot of people, you see a lot of people, but I'm in a new company, I'm in a new role. So it's been many years of seeing, people that change companies, change institutions. You see, some people retire and then they come back because they can't be away from it.
They can't retire.
It's one of those things that you can never leave HPC. It pulls you back in, right? So it's a fun time. It's a whirlwind, and I think there's also a little bit of disappointment because you can't do everything. There's competing events you want to go to. Again, they may be cross town. There's exciting things. You just, if you snooze, you miss out. So great example there. Tuesday is Diversity Day at Supercomputing. And if you're not familiar with the Women in HPC organization, that has grown very, very quickly. And they have a number of things planned. They have a workshop on Sunday, and they have things happening all throughout Tuesday, and then a reception Tuesday night that's already closed because they've had so many people getting into it. I did not make it in, so I don't have a ticket to that. That's when I'm disappointed, because there's a lot of star power that's going to be at that event. Looks like it's a lot of fun. So it's those kinds of things. You have that disappointment. You can't do everything, and it's a lot. It is a big show with a lot going on.
It's great. Thank you, Brock. And I think you brought up
Zane?
one important. Yeah, absolutely.
Zane, I have the schedule of all the speeches. I can just
that would be
let
fantastic.
everybody know. So we've got on the 15th, we've got 3 speakers. We've got Brock speaking at Cornelis Networks, which is booth 745. He's going to be speaking at 11:30. Brock, can you tell us what you're going to be speaking about? I don't know what the topic is exactly, but I know the
Yeah,
time.
that one, I swore to myself I would only sign up to do 2 speaking engagements, and then I signed up for a third, and that was Cornelis. And I we don't have a title for it. It's a discussion. It's a discussion about how the different elements of technologies have to combine, and it's kind of open-ended, right? It's not meant to necessarily be a presentation, but literally it's going to be Q&A. And I don't want to scare people away, but if attend that, I will be asking questions of the people that attend just as much as I hope they're asking me questions and Cornelis questions. So really an interactive session with Cornelis, and Cornelis being a very well-known InfiniBand fabric that's important to the industry. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay, great. Well, once that's over, we have Greg, our CEO, Greg Kurtzer, speaking in the Silicon Mechanics booth, which is booth 1422. So that's at noon on the 15th, from noon to 12:30. And then the third speech that day is in the Altair booth, and that's Brock again. That's booth 3303, and that is at 1:30 to 2 p.m. And then the following day on the 16th, Brock is giving a speech in the Giga.io booth, which is booth number 539. The title of that speech is Time to Buy into Composable Infrastructure, and that's from 3 to 3:30 p.m. And then finally, Jonathan, not Dave Anderson, will be speaking in the Intel booth, number 2428. That's on the 17th at 12:30. We'll have all these the schedule on our website as well. So if you go to our website, just go look for events. You'll find the SC22 event, and this will be all listed there. So you can come see some CIQers speak. Thanks.
Yeah, we'll post a link to that so you guys can find that. Just what you want to say, Brock?
Yeah, and if I may, I think Jonathan's talk combines so many interesting and good things. Again, it's in that Thursday range where people are getting tired, but there's so much that's going into that, so much work that has gone into what he's going to be able to talk about, where it's built on that work we've done, that Yoshi has done with Open Radios, but now it's really showcasing how it's fed very quickly to Altair, CIQ, and Intel working together on this important code. And I think that theme of openness is permeating very well, and this has been a great showcase of what it can mean in the time where the technologies are just moving so fast. It's very difficult to stay on the edge.
Speaking of themes, if I can just break in one more time and just say that our theme for the show, it was inspired by a graph that we've been generating from Apple data that we pulled from the Fedora project that is showing that Rocky week by week is growing, increasing market share, and it's the fastest growing enterprise Linux now in the world. So our theme for that event, to sort of celebrate that up into the right growth, is Aspire Higher. So we hope that we'll achieve that goal at the show, and we'll create some excitement around the incredible energy and adoption of Rocky Linux.
That's great. Thank you, Dave. So Brock, you pointed out something earlier that I think is important, especially for people it's their first time. I think one of the things that was a good first time tip is make sure you wear comfortable shoes. These events are long and you're on your feet a lot, so wearing comfortable shoes. One of the other ones that I would add before I go around the room here and have people give, just from past conference experience, not necessarily from this one, but something that you would say is something you do. I would say one that's important is to stay hydrated. I think it's easy to run between events and booths and not drink enough, and that can, there you go, Rose, cause some problems, give headaches, those kind of things. So carry water with you, stay hydrated. And I will go, Rose, do you have any first time or tips for just conference tips in general?
I have a question, actually, real quick first.
Certainly.
Am I going to be able to shake hands with a robot? Like do the high five? Is that going to happen there?
Good question. Maybe.
I want that to happen. If it does, you guys
can never say. Yeah, you never know.
Okay, that's amazing.
Does a robot dog count? Maybe.
Yeah. Sorry, what was that?
I said, does a robot dog count? I've seen those floating around quite often lately.
At the conference, they're going to be like running around?
Oh.
That would be weird.
I don't know. That would be cool, but I don't know.
That would be cool. That would be cool. Or do they whine like your dog does?
No. That one's not mine today.
Oh, it wasn't.
Jeez.
My dog's in my room too, and she can hear the other dog. She's looking around like, where is this coming from? Yeah, comfortable shoes, water. I don't know if there's like, I mean, maybe a camera. Can we take pictures in there?
Good question.
Is that a yes?
I'm getting a lot of nods. Yes.
Absolutely, yeah. And
yes, we're actually just we're getting
there's going to be a lot of
pictures.
press there. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, take a lot of pictures, everybody. Take videos, and we're going to make a little highlights reel after the event to
Very
share
cool.
with our audience. Thanks.
Love it. I just got another message that you guys probably see too. Eat. That is an issue with you all. Okay, I will be there making sure that we have snacks and things to eat. Water is important, but you got to keep your brain power going. So
True.
yeah, easy to just kind of fade as you go. So
Very
snack.
true.
We'll have snacks at our booth. So you guys just come over to our booth. I'll hook you up. You'll be all good to go. 521.
That's right.
That's it. All right. See you there.
Thank you, Rose. Justin, I feel like we've done this a lot at a lot of different conferences, just not SC. What would you pass along?
My
as
encouragement
advice?
is come by and have a conversation. All of us are dying to find out what you guys are up to, how we can be of help, how we can provide value with the stuff that we're making. We're really excited about it, and we are just dying to kind of talk to you about it. So if you see us, so I do find it funny that our motto is aspire higher, because most of us, I think, are well into our 6 foot. I know I'm 6'8", so if you see the giant bald guy, just come by and say hi. Like he's a really friendly guy. That's me. So looking forward to it.
Thank you, Justin. Dickerson. I'm not going to go with the Dave. It's too confusing. You've been doing this quite a bit lately. So from the recent experiences.
I would say coming out of the pandemic, have that LinkedIn QR code ready. Not everybody's got business cards. Not everybody is wanting to do that. And that's another easy way to connect. Have that QR code ready, and maybe in a notepad, just have a thank you message ready to copy paste and drop it in there. Those little connections, however you can have them, help.
Have you seen people print those out and like sticking them to the back of their phone or anything, Dave?
I have. So there's cooler pieces of technology that you can do beyond that. But yeah, you can print the QR code out. There's digital ones that are being done too, to where you can just tap and utilize NFC to transfer your data that way. Not transfer your data, but share your contact information that way. But yeah, just little things like that to be, able and willing and ready to have a conversation with anyone at any time.
There you go. Forrest, you've also been to a couple of these recently.
Yes, I have. Sorry about that. I would say my first big tip, the first thing that I have on my mind is I just want to echo the photographic component of everything. Definitely, yeah, document the event, take photos, generate that material, help capture this, momentous occasion of everyone coming back. And I'm really big on, photography and kind of capturing the event and stuff like that. So I cannot echo that enough. That'd be pretty cool. On another level, the physical level of things, the nearest, I guess my biggest tip is, I just want to echo, make sure you take care of yourself, eat, drink water, eat, make sure you've got, easy snacks, stuff like that. Those, smoothies, whatever you got to go get yourself from the Walgreens across the street from the hotel. Whatever.
Thank you, Forrest. Dave, you're bringing up questions now. Dave Dickerson.
I see that. So in the actual app, in the LinkedIn app, you can click on the search bar at the top. I'm doing it right now to make sure I'm taking you in the right direction. So you click the search bar at the top as if you're going to find somebody. And in the right corner, it looks like a little QR code. And here, I'll go ahead and show mine if it's visible. But it'll give your image and give the QR code that goes directly to your LinkedIn profile. And you can either save that image or have that up. With the latest iOS update, you can quickly change your background on your phone. So you can always have that as an option too. So you just change your background on your phone and then share it. That way you don't have to worry about the speed of Wi-Fi or telco connectivity inside of this space.
Absolutely. And if you guys are taking pictures and documenting stuff, make sure if we're in it, tag us in it. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all of those. Please do. Ian, tell me what you would suggest.
So unfortunately, I'm not in a position to make suggestions because this isn't only my first SC, but just my first conference in general. So like Jonathan, SC will be my first conference. So I'm actually just writing down all these tips so I can not only survive, but enjoy the whole thing as well.
Very nice. Looking forward to it, Ian. The real Dave Godlove. You've been to a few conferences before.
Yeah, so I would give a perspective. Okay, so I used to attend a scientific conference that was pretty big, the Society for Neuroscience conference every year, and so I can give a little bit of a perspective if you're not new to conferences, but you're used to attending more scientific conferences and you're coming to SC. I can give you some things that are different. So it used to be that I would really prioritize primarily poster presentations at a scientific conference, secondarily scientific talks, and then after that, if I had time maybe, or if there was something specific I wanted to see that was specific to my research, I would go to the show floor. And so things are very different at SC, right? Because, I would prioritize that because my priority is like meeting people, making relationships and talking to people. And the best place to do that is like in front of a poster, discussing some new idea at a scientific conference. But at SC, the best place to do that is on the show floor, checking out some new technology or some new software or something like that. So it's a little different if you're used to going to scientific shows, going to a trade show like SC, where the floor is really, the biggest thing. And then I would say after that, if you're like me and you're trying to make relationships and, talk to people, the second most important thing is probably BOFs, birds of a feather, and then panel discussions and things like that are also, really great as well. But yeah, definitely prioritize the show floor.
It's great. Thank you. Apparently I just lost lights in here. Are y'all available on Sunday or Monday? It depends. There will be, depending on the time of day, I think there will be some people that are starting to arrive on Monday.
Yeah.
If you want to reach out, there will be a handful of us there.
So Zane, I arrive in Dallas at 10:30, and I'll be going almost directly to the Dell HPC community meetup, which is in that area. So 100% reach out to us and we can set up some time to meet.
Brock, I think you gave a tip, but do you have any more tips that we've missed so far?
Well, it definitely impacts me. I think the hydration is important, but on the show floor, again, it's very, very loud and noisy. And by the second or third day, you can lose your voice. So somebody once gave me tips. It's even when you're talking, try to project, from your diaphragm, deep and things. But you do have to kind of be conscious that, especially if you're going to be on the show floor most of those days, just talking to people, because of the volume, you can lose your voice pretty easily. Now, I'll admit, it's my dog that's whining, and if she would lose her voice right now, that would be okay. But I typically, by Wednesday, I'm very hoarse, and by Thursday, like, I need to go home. So it's an interesting event, but all good tips that everybody's been.
That's great, and we actually do have a link.
We've got one in the comments.
Yeah.
There's a good tip in the comments as well. Right around the conference center, all those restaurants will be packed almost all the time. So there's usually food you can get on the show floor, and the restaurants close by are going to be really packed. But if you've got time, you want like a nice lunch or something, a lot of times you have to plan to get a little further out, and then you can get into restaurants a little bit more easily.
And that area is kind of on a side of downtown, so it might be a little bit of a trip to get away from the stuff that's right there by it. It's kind of a downtown area with not a lot of restaurants, so you will have to take a little bit of a ride. All right, Mr. LeDuc, been doing this for a while as well.
Well,
advice.
I haven't been to the, as I said, I haven't been to the SC the supercomputing shows before, but I have been to many large trade shows, and here's some advice. This is important advice. This advice could save your life. If they sell hot dogs in the concession stand within the trade show floor, do not purchase, do not eat. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. And we will finish up with Jonathan. Do you have any advice for us from past conference experience, SC, anything like that?
The only thing that hasn't already been said, I think, is just there's too much to do. So don't feel like you have to stretch yourself thin and try and do everything. Come back next year. But I echo Dave's suggestion to focus on the BOFs. The BOFs are good. Anything where you get to have a conversation with someone and really dig into something. It's really tempting to kind of just flit around the convention or flit around the exhibit hall and get a little bit of not very much of everything. But take what time you can and dig in, actually get to know people, meet them. Those relationships are what last beyond the show floor. And that's where I've gotten the most value out of it.
That's great. Well, we are about out of time, guys. I really appreciate you coming. I'm looking forward to seeing you all in person on Monday. Some of you maybe earlier than that. So please stop by. We're more than happy to talk to you about what we're doing, what we're working on. Just be glad to see people in person. So come by, say hi, tag us in pictures, like and subscribe, and we will see you next week. Thank you, guys.
Cheers.